gentle as a rose, and love can conquer any war. Yes, it will. It's time to take a stand. Brothers and sisters, join hands. We've got to let love rule. Let love, let love. We've got to let love rule. Let love, we gotta let love. We've got to let love rule. Love transcends all space and time, and love can make a little child smile. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, can't you see? Can't you see? This won't go wrong. But we gotta be strong. We can't do it alone. We've got to let love rule. Let love, let love. We've got to let love rule. Let love, we gotta let love. We've got to let love rule. Hey! Got to let love rule. Let love. We've got to let love. We've got to let love rule. Hey. We've got to let. We've got to let. We've got to let love rule. Let love. We've got to let love. Gotta let love rule, yeah. Let love, we've gotta let love rule.
All right, Toronto, it's time for the announcement lady.
She's gonna let love rule.
Announcement.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How is everyone today? Excellent. A couple of announcements that aren't on your announcement sheet in your program. Say that 10 times in a row. There is no class this afternoon as there is a board meeting at 1 o'clock. Other announcement is, don't know if you noticed when you came in the front door, we have a Christmas tree in our front window. Something we've done for a couple of years in association with the Red Door Shelter, which is here in Leslieville. We support that community every year. And on the Christmas tree, you'll see that there are like tags hanging off there. And if you take a tag, written on each tag is something that you can purchase for the shelter. So we will be collecting things. There's, it's infant toys, clothing, diapers, stuff for teens, household items, basically anything, food. One thing that the shelter has requested, if you are buying toys, a lot of the families come from war-torn places, so they ask that the toys be non-violent. Not that this community would really buy any of that, but just to be sensitive to who will be the beneficiary of our love tokens for this group. 2 years ago, boy, I'm going to be all weepy about this. 2 years ago, one of our members donated $500, and Jonathan and I got to go shopping. It was incredible. We went to Toys R Us and got shopping carts and just filled them with creative toys and arts and crafts and books and board games, and just watching people in Toys R Us collecting this, I think it just inspired people. They were amazed at what was going on, and staff was offering to help us. It was just a truly incredible moment, and I was very grateful the person who did it is watching. Very grateful to be able to do that. So on your way out today, we're doing it until December 14th. That's the last day to bring things in. Stop by the tree, pick up a tag, and play Santa. So that's it for that. I'm going to call Judy up now. She's going to have a few things to say about our Christmas gala.
The Christmas gala. It's very soon. It's a week this coming Thursday and Friday. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We are 40% sold out. Sold, not sold out. We want to be sold out. We want to be 100% sold out. Get your ticket today if you haven't got your ticket already. There are 2 sponsor sheets. I've got the yellow one for volunteers. It's pretty much filled up. I need a couple of more people for Thursday night, if that's possible, if anybody is willing to help out. And we also are looking for financial sponsorship for beverages and for production. It takes a little bit of cash to put on a production. So if you're willing and if you're able, there's a white sheet at the front. We would appreciate your sponsorship. And because we want to make this happen, it is going to be as great as last year. I look forward to seeing you there, and thank you.
Keep the applause going, because we're going to bring up Reverend Jonathan Zenz.
Good morning. How is everyone this morning?
Awesome.
Well, that was just convincing. How is everyone this morning? There you go. It's great to have you here. It's great to have you join us here at the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto, where we are celebrating an idea that there is only love. If you missed Judy's meditation this morning, it was gorgeous, all about love. And so let's allow ourselves to be wrapped up in love. And we're going to kick this off right away with this wonderful song. It's on your song sheet. What is it called?
Down in My Soul.
Down in My Soul. It's one of the newer songs that we've added, so I never remember the name. But now I will remember. Tell me about it, tennis.
I hear the music.
I hear the music
Down in my soul.
down in my soul.
I hear the music.
I hear the music
Down in my soul.
down in my soul.
I hear the music.
I hear the music
Down in my soul.
down in my soul.
And the whole wide
World is my home.
I got a new day.
I got a
start the day. So, we are a spiritual community. We are here to know one thing and one thing only. That is, God is all there is. There is only this one infinite creative power. We call it love. We call it by many names. Today I am choosing to call it love and love only. That's what is important to me today, is a recognition that it is love. And of course, there are no mistakes. I look down here, and inside my little shelf here is my little heart rock that has the word love written on it, which is always here as a reminder to me of what I stand for here. So, we have a beautiful, beautiful group of loving souls who are going through practitioner studies right now to become licensed practitioners within this center. A practitioner is someone who is here to know the truth for themselves and for all of humanity, and they can help you know the truth if there is something occurring in your experience that you would like to shift. It's all about shift. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. It's not about change, it's about shift. Little preview. So, here is someone who is going to work on that shift for us a little bit. Please welcome to the lectern with her own expression of wisdom and inspiration, Shahrose Morali.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Yeah, there are no mistakes. My little diet stick says love. And so it is. And so it is. Yeah, it's wonderful to be standing here in front of you and people online as well. Thank you for being here and bringing your wonderful, loving, caring expression, your joy of life, and the expression of spirit that you are. Thanks. I have been open to receiving what today may be about, what may come through today through me. And I keep on coming back to this particular book. This particular book is by Ernest Holmes. It's called 365 Signs of Mind, a Year of Daily Wisdom from Ernest Holmes. And it is actually August the 13th that I keep on coming to. And it is titled, The Spirit Goes Before Me. The Spirit Goes Before Me. So, in reading this, I'll be posing at a number of different places. It starts, good is at the root of everything, regardless of its seeming absence. Good is at the root of everything. Now that is usually very simple and easy to take in, isn't it? Good is at the root of everything, especially as we naturally harmonize to everything. But then comes the challenge, regardless of its seeming absence. And it speaks to those times when we find ourselves not being able to see and recognize the good in everything. And yet, it is there. Good is at the root of everything, regardless of its seeming absence. Holmes goes on to say, but this good must be recognized. It is up to you and I to not only know this, but to recognize this in each and every person, place, and situation. So no doubt we all face challenging situations, difficult decisions, and emotions. However, this is precisely when we allow ourselves to recognize this good. And usually part of this section is where one is given an affirmation, and an affirmation that we can take away with us. And my affirmation is going to be different. And yet, as I look at this, I know that good is at the root of everything is a valuable mantra to hold and carry with us, especially when we meet circumstances that are different and not appearing to be showing that. And we can remember this unconsciously. Good is at the root of everything. Holmes gives us the reasoning next so that our intellect can adjust to any disagreement we may feel with this particular statement of good. He writes, since there is but one spirit, and this spirit is in you, in me, and in everything, then everywhere you go, you will meet this spirit. You meet the Spirit in people, in places, and in things. This one Spirit which manifests itself in and through all, including you, each and every one of you, and each and every one's expression, whether it's through looks, words, music, and in me. This one Spirit, which manifests itself in and through all, including you, automatically adjusts parts to the whole. Now let me say this again. This one Spirit automatically adjusts parts to the whole. Isn't this something? You and I are not just this piece of meat walking around ineffectively. You know, our individualized expression of spirit is responded to. It's responded to and causes adjustment to who we are being. Who are we being as we pick up that ticket of our Christmas tree? Who are we being as we sit here listening to the words of wisdom and divinity coming through Jonathan? Who are we being as our emotions strike us and say, well, no, that's not the truth? What are we going to be remembering? Who are we being? Because that is what is being responded to. So I continue in quoting Holmes. Therefore, you may accept with positive certainty that the Spirit within you goes before you and prepares your way. It prepares your way. Your faith is placed in something as positive and certain as the laws of life. Yes, when I drop this, gravity occurs, right? Your faith is as certain as that. Your faith is as certain as that. Your faith is placed in something as positive and certain as the laws of life, exact as the principle of mathematics. Without the application of mathematics, we wouldn't be in this building. We wouldn't have light. We wouldn't have these wonderful music with the electricity. Not only is your faith is as certain in the laws of light, your faith is in the fact that something ever present, like the ethers of space, is also there. And that something is always functioning. This law that we talk about is always functioning, ever operating like the laws of nature. So let me read this again as Holmes wrote it. Therefore, you may accept with positive certainty that the Spirit within you goes before you and prepares your way. Your faith is placed in something as positive and certain as the laws of life. Exact as the principle of mathematics, something ever present like the ethers of space, ever operating like the laws of nature. So, you know what? I think I've left you with a wonderful affirmation, and that I choose to go with that, which is simply good is at the root of everything. Would you like to take that away as your affirmation today? Okay, so join me in saying, good is at the root of everything. And please repeat again and plant that deep into your own self. Good is at the root of everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Never in my life did I think I would come here on a Sunday and be told that I'm not just a bag of meat. And that is the truth. Good is at the root of everything. That is a fundamental principle within this philosophy. Good is at the root of everything because the only expression of this divine creative resource is constructive. When we really get in touch with the constructive nature of God, then we get in touch with the love of God. We are more than we see. We are more than we perceive. We are each of us perfect in our expression. We are each of us brilliant expressions of light. And so we affirm this in music with I Am a Light. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. Let's sing that all again. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. So now I'll invite you to relax right where you are, take a breath, and allow yourself to hear this affirmative prayer delivered by Charose.
Yes, you are a light. I am a light. God is light. Light, love. A love that gives of itself through us to each and everything. And we allow this light to shine brilliantly, magnificently, easefully, joyfully, in a plain and straight way. The path before us is easy, it's free, it's laid out. All we do is listen to the voice within and follow this path. Listen, follow, and know that we are one with the fine light within, one with God, that allows us to know itself, because that is all there is. And in doing so, we know that everything is good, everything is perfect, everything is plain and straightforward. So with peace in our hearts, I allow myself to know this truth and release this truth into the law of mind, knowing that this is already so, it is done. And I invite us all to declare this by saying, and so it is. Thank you.
And so as we continue, breathe into this knowing and take a look at someone in this room and understand that they are a light by singing to them, you are a light. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are a light. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, I am so grateful to Reverend Donna Michael, who is a minister in Nashville, for that song, because it always gets me to where I need to be. It's a great reminder for each and every one of us. Oh, sorry, I'm feeling so good. I am feeling so good. Okay, you ready for the next thing? Because I'm ready for the next thing. This song, too, the song that we've chosen as our featured song of the day, is very special to my heart. This song was introduced to me a couple weeks before I was installed like a dishwasher. Installed as the spiritual director here through the installation ceremony. It's a funny term, right? Because when we were doing the installation, it really does sound like it's an installation like I'm a dishwasher. I just don't get it. And in hearing this particular song a few weeks before that ceremony, I asked the band to play this song at that ceremony, and it will always hold a special, very special place in my heart. And I think you'll understand why. So please welcome Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band.
Maybe we're all different, but we're still the same. We've all got the blood of Eden running through our veins. I know sometimes it's hard for you to see. You're caught between just who you are and who you want to be. You feel alone and lost and need a friend. Remember, every new beginning is some beginning's end. Welcome to wherever you are. This is your life. You've made it this far. Welcome. You've got to believe that right here, right now, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Welcome to wherever you are. When everybody's in and you're left out, and it feels like you're drowning in a shadow of a doubt. Everyone's a miracle in their own way. Just listen to yourself and not what other people say. When it seems you're lost, alone, and feeling down, remember, everybody's different. Just take a look around. Welcome to wherever you are. This is your life. You've made it this far. Welcome. You've got to believe that right here, right now, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Be who you want. Be who you are. And everyone's a hero. And everyone's a star. When you want to give up and your heart's about to break, remember that you're perfect. God makes no mistakes. Welcome to wherever you are. This is your life. You've made it this far. Welcome. You've got to believe that right here, right now, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. This is your life. You made it this far. I say welcome. I say welcome.
So there are a couple things that that come up for me in hearing that song again. The first one is this idea. You know, my installation was about 2.5 years ago. It was in the spring. It was in the summer. It was in the late spring. It was in May. Yeah, it was in May. I think it was May 20th or 22nd, something like that. Anyway, that's beside the point, really. When I look at that, and I think that 3 years into that, into having been an installed minister, that we're putting together this amazing conference, and where this ministry has grown. For me personally, I don't know about any of you, but for me, my ministry has grown, and I've shifted and transformed, and that's the whole point. That's the whole point. We are none of us stagnant, or none of us should be stagnant or static in the expression of our lives. And that's what I love about this song. Welcome to wherever you are. Everything that you have experienced, everything that you have thought, everything that you have believed up until this point is what has created your life to this point. And you can change all of it if you choose to. Every single bit of it. You cannot change the events of the past, but you can change your relationship to them in mind. And in changing your relationship to them in mind, you can recreate your present and create your future. That's the whole, it's such a profound statement of truth for me. And I have truly allowed myself to embody this idea and live it in my life. Sorry, I'm touching the microphone element here. So that's number one. The second thing that then occurs to me is that I'm 3 years technically into this ministry, and I'm now doing the paperwork. Now, what you may not know is that I'm not an ordained minister. What? You're not ordained? No, there's a process within this organization that you have to be a minister for a certain amount of time before they confer ordination upon you. Ordination means that you are a lifetime minister. So I have been expressing my ministry in a specific way, and I am now eligible for ordination, and I'm going through the process of doing all the paperwork that's required, and I will have to do a panel and sit in front of ordained ministers and answer a lot of questions, and I'm looking forward to that, sort of. But we're going to have a big old party when that happens. I'm just giving you all warning. Warning? No, I'm giving you all a heads up. It's not a warning. It's funny what the mind does sometimes, isn't it? Welcome to wherever you are. So this is part 3 of a 4-week series where I have been focused on the Introduction to the Science of Mind book by Ernest Holmes. This week is what it does. What it does. And so in 2 weeks we have covered these ideas. Number 1, we've covered the thing itself. The thing itself is God. We are immersed in and experiencing only God. We are expressing as God. There is nothing separate from God. That's it. There is only God. Is that clear? Yeah. There is nothing else. Now, then I ask you this question. In your mind, can you think of something that is not God? This is a rhetorical question. I don't want you all to yell out an answer. But can you think of something that you can look to and say, well, that's not God, clearly. I mean, have you looked at it? Everything is God. And the moment we come into alignment with this idea, the moment we put ourselves in a place of power to recreate our lives for the better. So that's number 1, the thing itself. There is only God. The second thing we've learned in these weeks is this, the way it works. The expression of God becomes our expression, and it is totally mechanical. Oh gosh, doesn't that sound depressing? If God is expressing through me and is totally mechanical, does that mean I have no free will, that everything is showing up because of some predefined idea from an infinite resource? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not what it means. The activity of it is mechanical. What we bring to it defines how it shows up in our lives. So it is entirely personal. The expression of our lives, the expression of God as us is entirely personal. And it can be summed up in the equation that I offered last week. Thought plus belief multiplied by feeling equals the quality of life. Thought plus belief multiplied by feeling equals the quality of life. And sometimes I am misunderstood. This has been a challenge or an opportunity for me as a minister. See, I got to look at those words sometimes. It's an opportunity for me as a minister to approach my ministry not always talking about the law. It's all law, right? I have a tendency to get really bogged down in the law side of the entire philosophy. But that's what worked for me to shift my thinking and to allow me to come into a place of expression of love. I tend to look at the impersonal nature of the working of the law of cause and effect. And in looking at the impersonal nature, I know that whatever I bring to it is inherently personal and shows up accordingly. Intelligence is key. Intelligence is key in understanding mind. Intelligence is key in understanding mind. Intelligence is the personal factor. What you bring to your mind is the way your life shows up. That's what makes it personal. I, personally, can never personalize the principle for you. I can never personalize the principle for you. That is part of the key. A lot of people still come to Science of Mind centers, they come to Centers for Spiritual Living, and they come here with the idea that they're going to hear something come out of the minister's mouth that is going to be so personalized for them that it's going to shift their entire life. And maybe that's true. Here's the key. It will do nothing for you unless you are receptive to it. So receptivity to what you're hearing, to either accept or reject what you're hearing. And you're all welcome to reject whatever I say. Just know that in the acceptance or rejection, that's the way your life then shows up. And I may be saying things that are not appropriate for you. I say things because I know they're appropriate for me. I have personalized the principle myself. And I use it only personally. And the same is true for each and every one of us. Ernest Holmes writes this: intelligence, and this is the personal factor, right? Intelligence can acquaint us with its ideas. He capitalizes its here. So he's talking about the infinite divine creative resource. Intelligence can acquaint us with its ideas only as we are willing and able to receive them. So whatever is flowing through me on a Sunday morning means absolutely nothing. It's just a bunch of words. To the degree that you take it for yourself and are receptive to it and accept it is the degree to which you are now actually doing the work in your own mind to shift your life experience. I am doing nothing except speaking truth. The truth that works for me and the truth that I have studied. To the degree that you accept it in your own life is the degree to which you shift your own life. And that's what I'm talking about. This is about shift. Remember, it's about shift, not change. I am not looking to change what's happening in my life. I'm looking to shift my idea of it. And the great news is that in shifting my idea of it, what's out there will naturally change. Because everything that shows up in our experience is first and foremost an idea in mind. That is a fundamental basic of this teaching. Everything in the world of form, everything we experience, all my friendships, all my acquaintances, all my business associations, my very being in Toronto, in this center, is because I was equal to it in mind first and foremost. Where you are in your life, now I'm going to be very careful to say this, if you're not happy with your life at this moment, this is not a statement that you can then take away and say, I am to blame for my life. This is not what I mean. Here's what I'm about to say. Everything that is in your life, you are equal to in your mind first and foremost. Everything. All of it. 100%. By taking the blame factor out of this, and replacing it with having this understanding in an impersonal way allows me the knowledge, the intelligence factor, the knowledge to know that I can now step up in my life, take responsibility, take the reins, shift my own mind, and trust that the results show up accordingly. It is a place of power that we put ourselves in when we take responsibility for our lives. So this is the difference in the way it works and what it does. It does for us only what we allow our minds to put into it. What it does is it becomes personal to each and every one of us. The expression of God in our lives becomes personal to each and every one of us, provided we accept it personally, that we accept it into our experience personally. And this is another area I have a lot of caveats today. This is another area where I am sometimes misunderstood, so I'm going to clarify today. I am not here to make you believe any of this. It's not my job. I am not here to say you have to read the science of mind and ingest all of it and embody all of it, or you're going to go to hell. First of all, we don't believe in hell as a place we're ever going to. So let that be the point from which we start to rethink the experience. I am not here to say you have to believe any of it. Not a single shred of it. I actually, quite frankly, have very little concern for what you do believe. It's going to sound really crass, but I don't care what you believe. But you should care what you believe. You should care what you believe. Because your beliefs are showing up exactly according to your thoughts multiplied by your feelings. And that's how your life is showing up. That's the quality of your life. Each and every one of us, it is up to each and every one of us to really get in touch with our belief system. That's the only thing that I'm ever asking any of us to do. You don't have to believe in this philosophy. All I ask is that you figure out what it is you do believe, because that's how your life is showing up. That's how we personalize God, by truly, truly getting in touch with the belief system. That's the personal factor. And so, I no longer accept in my own ministry and in my own expression of this ministry that I am only going to now focus on the law and make it all about the impersonal nature of God. No, it is entirely personal. But I cannot make it personal for you. Each and every one of us personalizes this. And it goes in line with this. If I'm going to now let go of holding on so tightly to the law of cause and effect and the impersonal factor of the law of cause and effect, that means inherently what I'm moving towards is love. And finding the balance between the law of cause and effect and the love that I show up with as the expression of the divine in my life. Ernest Holmes writes this: "Let us do away with a ponderosity of thought." I love that word. Let us do away with a ponderosity of thought and approach the thing simply and quietly. For those of you who are watching online and don't have a microphone for what's happening on the other side of that door, people just being loud, that's all. Just simply and quietly. I'm going to start this quotation over again. Let us do away with a ponderosity of thought and approach the thing simply and quietly. It is the nature of the universe to give us what we are able to take. It is the nature of the universe to give us what we are able to take. This is why I go back to what I want to take is that my life unfolds gracefully and easily. It is the nature of the universe to show up accordingly. There is nothing I have to do out here to change it. And many times we approach the things out here loudly, and we complicate our lives by thinking about them in complicated ways. Well, if this is the way it was, it must be because of this other thing back here, or this other thing back here. And if it's one of those things, then that must be supported by this old idea that's back here. The more we look to the past, the more we uphold that thing out there that we are looking to shift. The only way we shift that thing out there is by shifting our thought, simply and quietly, and without a ponderosity of thought. I'm going to say that word as many times as I can. Now, I was not able to use this in my life until I really got that part of the principle. We need to simplify our entire approach to this philosophy. The philosophy is very simple. We're the ones who complicate it. That's why today is called the riddle of simplicity. The riddle is we can complicate the most simple ideas. Here's the philosophy. God is all there is, and the universe operates based on a law of cause and effect. That's it. God is all there is, the law of cause and effect. Doesn't get much more simple than that. But we have very complicated minds, don't we? We're the ones who can get in there and say, well, if God is all there is, then what about Hitler? I get that in class all the time. It's always kind of the go-to, right? It's always a go-to because people perceive that as a thing. And it was a thing. But the more we allow ourselves to ponder in a ponderosity of thought, get it? The more we ponder the ill effects of that event in our history, the more we allow ourselves the mental equivalent to recreate the circumstances which brought it to our experience in the first place. And I guarantee you, if every single one of us approached life with only one idea in mind, and that is, I will love every single person I encounter, and this is how we teach the world to love every single person they encounter, regardless of our personal opinion about them, which very often descends into judgment. The minute we pull ourselves away from the judgment, away from our own opinion, and just love, this is the point at which there cannot be a possibility for that type of event to ever occur again. This is how we use the principle. And the whole principle is love and law. Love and law. Yes, the law is important, but let's love. The whole of the universe is each and every one of ours for the taking. The whole of the universe. It is mine for the taking, it is yours for the taking, provided we align ourselves in mind first and foremost. And this is not something we do. This is a becoming experience. This is an experience of being. And are we taking advantage of this? Are we taking advantage of being the divine rather than approaching life with, I must do this to fix my life? When we are being the divine, all the circumstances take care of themselves. I would open ourselves up also to this idea, if we take this all away. I can and know I will experience it all. That didn't make any sense. Let me reframe that sentence. I can experience it all, and I know I can experience it all. I can experience it all, and I know I can experience it all. I know, and I know that I know. Let's stop saying we can't. If can't is a word that you frequently use in your everyday life as part of your vocabulary, eliminate it. Rather than focusing on what you cannot do, focus on what is possible. Focus on what is probable, because in God, all things are probable. The infinite nature of the universe is probable in the divine. The minute we focus on the can't, we create the circumstances to show up as can't. And so we're always fighting against. Let us focus on what we can do. How do we make ourselves ready to accept the can in our lives? Ernest Holmes writes this: should all the wisdom of the universe be poured over us, we should yet receive only that which we are ready to understand. Should all the wisdom of the universe be poured over us, we should yet receive only that which we are ready to understand. So how we make ourselves ready is through acceptance, not rejection. Accept that there is more. Accept that there is always more. Much of my past experience was focused on rejecting that which I didn't want. And this is just a check-in for each and every one of us. How many of us are focused on trying to eliminate the things in our lives which we don't want? Just check in. To what degree are you trying to eliminate things you don't want? Let all of it go. That's living in denial, actually. It's living in denial of your greatness. In living this life of denial, we may, in deference, be giving over our good to the whim of others. Because in trying to reject, we are now listening for the clues that are out there, for the things that we need to know. And as we hear the information, we start to think, oh, well, that must be the truth. And it may or may not be appropriate for us. So let us today accept the intuitive nature of this divine flowing through us. That's why I also say, you don't need to listen to a word I say. What works for you? To what degree can you move toward the I can? When we give our good over to the whim of others, oh, this is the great part, and this is what a lot of people I experience are living in. It allows us to go into that place of blame. Well, they said it, so it must be true. They said it, so that's the way my life has shown up. And what happens is, in that place of blame, we have now allowed ourselves to take on the mentality of being a victim. Not a single one of us is a victim unless we decide to allow ourselves to be victimized. Period. If you are allowing your mind to go to that place of being victimized by the world around you, oh, the world is such a hard place. That's victimizing yourself to the circumstances of the world. You will find a perpetrator because that is the mental equivalent. If I believe I'm a victim, then everything I see is going to be filtered through that idea, and I will find the perpetrators to support my victimization. Let's move away from this. Actually, let's not for a moment. I was thinking about this idea. With all due respect to the actors in the room, and I only state this because the thing is, I speak from my own experience. So having spent 20 years in the profession of being an actor, this is what I knew. So, and it's not what I know any longer. As an actor, it's so easy to go down this road. It is so easy because 99% of what we do as actors is look for the next job, right? Yeah. We are looking for the next job. What is the next play I can be in? Am I going to be able to audition for a such and such television show? There's a feature. I know this feature film is coming to town, and I want to make sure that I get seen for it. These are the things that actors are always going through. So they are now deferring their good to the whims of casting directors. And I guarantee you, the ones who are the most successful in this business are the ones who do not allow themselves that luxury. They're the ones who walk in and they know they've got the job, period. They have that mentality. Now, again, I'm speaking to myself. I hear the actors in the room going, yeah, I get it, right? But I'm speaking only to my own experience because the minute that I got over that victim idea, that I could be victimized by the casting director, or why didn't they hire me because I certainly was the right person for that role. The minute I got over that and I went to a place of faith and trust is the minute I started booking more. It's the minute I started getting more jobs. Because it was no longer about them, it was about me. Part of what actors go through is they bring to the audition, this is mostly true of younger actors, they are bringing to the audition what they think somebody's looking for. How many of us are doing this in our lives? We are approaching every situation with, well, what is Fred going to think? So, okay, I need to think about how I'm going to phrase this because I don't want to, upset Fred. No, you know what? Be truthful, be honest, and be loving. And there's nothing then that can be said to Fred that will shift any of that. That will shift what his perception of you. And you know what? If he thinks you're a horrible person, not that you think anybody's a horrible person, but if he thinks you're a horrible person because of what you bring to the picture, you don't want him in your life anyway. Goodbye. So, in the audition, the actors who book are the ones who understand that they have their own unique nature, and that's the way they're going to show up. And in some respect, this is also the impersonal factor, because who the heck cares what Fred thinks if you're my casting director now? I'm going to make you my casting director. I don't care what you think. I am going to show you what I have to offer, not what I think you need to see. So let's show up with what we have to offer, not what we think society needs to see. How many actors does it take to screw in a light bulb? 1, and 99 to stand around and say, I could have done that better. We tend to reject that which we don't know. We tend to reject that which we don't know or understand, rather than accept the answer ultimately is within. The riddle of simplicity includes this. This is Ernest Holmes. If we wish to know a certain truth, we should state that this truth is already known in mind, and this statement will be true. Did you hear that? If we wish to know a certain truth, we should state that this truth is already known in mind, and this statement will be true. The reason this statement is true is because in the universal mind, all that ever can be known is already known. We are simply individualizing it. So if we are looking for the answer, step back. Know, and know that you know, and the answer flows through you. He continues with this, but the overmind, he's talking about the divine mind, and he's kind of futzing with a phrase here because he's referencing Emerson, who wrote an essay called The Oversoul. The overmind must be accepted into our mind before we can understand it. So that thing we are looking for, we must open up to the divine flowing through us in order to understand it. All the answers are available and accessible to each and every one of us. So ask yourself in this moment, right now, what is it I wish to know? What is it I wish to know? And now, in recognizing that question, affirm this. That which I wish to know is already there. That which I wish to know is already there. And then be open to hearing the answer. We have a process within this philosophy called visualization. No, it's actually totally not. Visioning. Visualization is a completely different thing. We have a process called visioning within this philosophy, where the entire point of visioning is to step back and say, I know, and I know that I know, and I am open to the answer, flowing through me. So here's the real answer to the riddle of simplicity. The more power one gives to his thought, this is Ernest Holmes, the more power one gives to his thought, the more completely he believes that his thought has power, the more power it will have. It's as simple as that. The more you give over to it, with an understanding that it is a thought of power, the more power in mind that you give, shifting your mind, the more power it has. So this entire work, the entire work of this philosophy is a work of stepping up, stepping it up, developing our faith to this one simple truth. It is done unto you as you believe. Period. It is done unto you as you believe. So, then, what do you believe? That's the question. In discovering what you believe, in truly going down the journey of uncovering your belief system, you afford yourself the benefit of using the law of cause and effect to adjust anything that no longer feels right. You do this specifically, directedly, and purposefully. This is how we personalize the thing itself. And this is how to use it, which is actually next week's talk. So until then, I would like each and every one of us to explore the possibilities of accepting only our good. This is what I invite each and every one of us to allow to be at the fore of our minds all week long. Accept only the good. Accept only the good. Make no compromise with consciousness. Repudiate any falsehood. Accept only the good. Namaste. I am going to invite our dear friend, you know what I was about to say, our dear friend, Reverend Tony Matthews, which, to be fair, is not an inaccurate statement. He is a reverend within another philosophy. So please welcome the Reverend Tony Matthews.
Hi, I'm something else Jonathan should have caveated. If you give Tony a microphone, you should beware. The reverend thing is actually I'm one of those internet ministers because I had a business doing weddings in California, and I love it. Anyways, hi, I want to talk to you about the stewardship program, and I kind of don't need to because everything I wanted to say, Jonathan just said. When he said, could you speak, I started ponderosidizing what I wanted to say, because I want to be brief and to the point and whatever. But I love that he talked about language, because language to me is so intriguing and wonderful and bizarre, and we're using these incredibly blunt words and instruments to try to describe something. We can look at this and see the word love. What a wonderful single 4 letters that express so much, and yet none of us would give the exact same description of what love is because we all have a billion words to describe what we mean. So words can mean different things to you. When I came to this philosophy about 8 years ago, I went to a workshop on prosperity, and this amazing woman stood up and started telling me about this and said, the first thing I want you to do is tithe to where you are spiritually fed. And when I heard those words, it took everything within me to not stand up and walk out of that room because I hated those words. They meant so much to me, and they were so negative until I had people around me who, I had the aha moment for me. And that was an aha moment for me. And there have been other aha moments where, oh my gosh, I'm doing what I was suggested, and my life is expanding. And when I stopped being uptight about the word tithe, because to me it made me think of someone with a southern accent on television saying you should tithe to me, I focused on where I'm spiritually fed. And that also kind of made me go, oh, that's a little airy-fairy, whatever. But I've now started really understanding what that means to me, where I'm spiritually fed. Throughout my life, I've been spiritually fed lots of places. I will tell you right now, I am spiritually fed massively by the National Ballet of Canada. Oh, I love those people. Nijinsky's coming up. Don't miss it. It's unbelievable. And lots of other organizations. And what I do is I take the advice and I give some money to where I'm spiritually fed. This is one of those places. There are plenty of others I have in my life. And the stewardship program, Do You Step Up, is about my taking responsibility for how well my spirit gets fed. It's going to be fed from wherever I'm spreading my good anyways, so I'm going to take a choice in that. At this center, I have automatic deduction for an amount to give money to a place what I believe in, and I don't do it because I have to. I do it because I want to, because I love that spiritual food. There are actually other places that I have automatic deductions because I need this. I love the spiritual food I get from them. So for me, that's about responsibility, which is another thing you were talking about. It's like, it's not a blame responsibility, it's a cool, I get to choose where I get this energy, this excitement, this bigger experience of my life. And I love it. So pick up one of these things, read it over. It helps the center plan. It's an organization that has to operate and things like that. But the reason I'm tithing here is not because I really care about what next year's budget looks like on a line item basis. I do it because my life gets better when I give to where I get my spiritual food. And I know that my hand has to be open to receive as well as to give. And there you go. There's a simple thing. Everything I just said could have been done like that, but I really, really, really wanted the attention of standing in front of you, and I'm on camera, and this is my big audition, and I hope there's a casting director watching. I'm going to stop talking. Thank you very much, and we'll have some music.
Two things around that. Tithe to where you are spiritually fed. Make a commitment in your own life to give 10% of your gross, and I do mean gross income. That's one thing that people wonder about. Is it gross or net? It's gross. If you tithe 10% of your gross income to where you are spiritually fed, see how your life shifts. That's it. And it doesn't all have to be here. In fact, if you are more spiritually fed by the National Ballet, then tithe it there. But all I'm asking is that if we make a commitment to the expansion of this center as a community, we all support that. So thank you all for that. The baskets are going to go around as we do our collection for the day. And what song are we singing?
The Point of Power.
The Point of Power, which is on your song sheet. So stand up, stretch, dance, enjoy.
2, 3, 4. In this moment I feel joy. In this moment I feel joy. In this moment I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. In this moment I feel grace. In this moment I feel grace. In this moment I feel grace. I feel grace. I feel grace. I feel grace. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. In this moment I feel love. In this moment I feel love. In this moment I feel love. I feel
invite Charrose to do a blessing over the offering.
Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful, beautiful expression of love and light. And I know that as each person allows this to flow through their hands to the center, more and more is yet received through each and every person who releases. With hands open, everyone gives and the center receives. Thank you. And I know that the wisdom present in this board, that the love and the presence in each and every director in this board, the vision, the intention of love and harmony is beautifully expressed through the use of this money, God as expression. So I give thanks for that knowing and understand, and I give thanks for the energy and the beauty generated this morning, and I release this word into the law of mind, and I say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Charrose. I'm going to invite you all to take a breath. Relax right where we are. And allow whatever it is we've heard today that resonates with us to be there, to affect us, allowing that idea to become new cause in our experience, and know that life shows up accordingly. I am also reminded in this moment to let you all know that the final service of this year will be a very special service. I'm going to let you all start knowing about it now so you can make plans and plan to bring people. We're going to do a Teze service that date. It'll be a very different kind of Sunday, and we will most likely be incorporating a burning bowl ceremony within that. If you're not sure what Teze is, ask me after the service. But take a breath. Just breathe. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God. I find myself. I find myself. I find God. I find God when I find myself. There is perfection and nothing else. There is love and nothing else. There is an infinite creative energy and nothing else. And this is who and what each and every one of us is. Perfect individualized expressions of love, of light, of peace and joy. And in knowing this to be so, I give over to this fully expressed in my life, and I trust in this for every single person here, every single person watching online. I trust. I allow myself to fall back into faith right in this moment, knowing that my life shows up according to the shift I make in my own mind. And so I get in touch with the beliefs and allow only the constructive. knowing this to be so, and in deep gratitude for this knowledge, for this understanding, and for the brilliant words of Dr. Ernest Holmes, which so inspire, and for the brilliance of inspiration that has flowed through this entire experience of Sunday celebration, and for every single person involved in making it so, I am in deep gratitude. And so I simply allow it to unfold. I allow, releasing this word to the immutable law, knowing it is complete, for I have spoken the word, I know it is so, as together we say, and so it is. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God. Oh, I find God. I find myself. All right, so let's lift this energy up, take it into the world with joy to the world. Thank you all so much, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog. He was a good friend of mine. I never understood a single word he said, but I helped him drink his wine. He always had some mighty fine wine. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. If I were the queen of the world, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd throw away the cars and the bars and the wars and make sweet love to you. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. You know I love the spirit. I love to have my fun. I'm a high-life flyer and a rainbow rider, a straight shooting son of a gun. I said a straight shooting son of a gun. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the world. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. 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 Have a great week. Visit the Christmas tree out front. Woo.